I'm not checking Discord anymore.
We're live.
All right.
Hello.
Hello. Count me down.
Of course. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so welcome to Super Lumi Live. Super Lumi Live is a 2D platformer that involves mainly collecting a bunch of silver and gold to get through the worlds. And in this category, you also need enough gold to access all of the separate optional levels that you can get along the way to the end. The total number of silver that we're going to need by the end of the run is 450, which is really easy to get. The total number of gold is going to be 32, which is not quite as easy to get. You're going to need to go out of the way to get some of them. There's two types of exits in this game. These normal ones that you've been seeing for the first couple of levels, and then ones like the first one we're going to see in 1.3, which we call a portal exit. Basically, I'm going through that portal at the top left, and then needs to collect these 5 green coins and make it into the exit portal. And that will take you to a lettered level, which has these flip tokens. And those will change the direction that the level is facing. Altogether, a very fun mechanic. Because this category that M is running right now is all levels main ending, that will consist of beating every single level with every single exit. So you will need to get both the normal exit and the secret exit in most of these levels. Well, all of them really, except for the last one, which doesn't count. Now, the first world is fairly introductory, which is why I've been kind of going through the basic mechanics of the game. But there is some neat sort of stuff to point out, like every single world has a theme, or every single level has a kind of theme mechanic, which can be anything from the whole level is moving to stuff like 1.5, where you've just got all of the platforms have spikes on the bottom. That's a very precise jump right there, and getting that second try really saves about 3 or 4 seconds in this level. And now we're going on to one boss, or one skull, or one death, whatever we want to call it at the time. The basic concept of these levels is that you're going to be seeing them a lot longer than any of the other levels. And they have 50 silver instead of 20 that most levels have. Additionally, they're just going to have checkpoints everywhere. They're much more difficult than the rest of the levels in the world, usually. So, each of them also kind of conglomerates everything that you've seen in the world I just think they're neat. Now, for World 2, this introduces a lot of new concepts that will be seen time and time again. First of all, these green arrows. These bubbles with green arrows will boost you in the direction of said arrows and give you back your double jump. For most of these, especially at the beginning, those green arrows will be pointing upwards. And that's the way they are for most of the time. But there are some that are pointed downwards. And you've got to be careful not to hit into those, or they will push you into either spikes, or the abyss, or both. Now we've got 2-3. This has a secret or portal exit again. That's pretty well hidden over there. And that will lead to 2-A. I think. Yes, 2-A. And the main mechanic of this is, again, just combining those green bubbles with the turns. And now the green bubbles will keep the direction relative to the rest of the level that they are pointing. The end here, it's normally pretty difficult to go through that, but if you just double jump immediately after you've hit those boost platforms, then you'll just stay pretty low and ride pretty cleanly through the bottom of the whole level. 2-7 has a theme of these platforms that move back and forth, as well as just, in general, everything that's turning around an axis. So these platforms that are turning around, discs that are turning around, this whole Ferris wheel at the end of the level. Now we have to go back through to 2-3 to beat it the normal way, because we haven't done that yet, and we do need to beat every single exit in this run. There's a really fun thing right at the end of this level. There's this hidden gold right here. You stand on that really well disguised platform, and you can just jump up to the gold there. Next level is 2-4. This the theme is platforms that you stand on and then they start moving. For the most part, those are slower to go on than just anything else in the level, but we do need to go on these last ones because there's no platforms from here to the rest of the level. Or to the end, rather. Now we've hit 2-6. This is a level that is introducing these blue platforms with a circle in the middle. They have one circle because if you do, they will only appear if you have only used your single jump, and if you used your double jump, they will disappear. That leads us to 2B, that secret exit, which will have the same kind of concept, except now every single platform in the level, except for 2 of them, I think, are these blue platforms. And now it's back to 2-6. We're going to see the second half of the level, and we're going to get introduced to the second type of platform here. That is going to be the yellow double circle platforms. And in a similar theme, they only appear if you use your double jump. If you land on them, they'll stay solid. If you land anywhere other than on them, they will disappear. Right there, that skip saves like 7 seconds, and it's really precise at the end of the level. Now we've got 2-5. This is going to introduce another type of new platform, these beige platforms. And these are kind of disappearing platforms in that if you stand on them long enough, they will disappear. And then you have to wait for the circle to refill in the center of them for them to reappear. One level that we haven't done yet in World 2, which is 2-2. This is a lot simpler than the other levels because it's intended to be the second one that you play. But it's got just more of these discs that are being shot, etc. You may have noticed that every so often M reaches a checkpoint and then just immediately dies. That's intentional. You will often take a death at a checkpoint in this game to reset a cycle, or just change where the screen is, change where a platform is, to make it faster, to make it easier, usually both. This one, for example, makes it a lot easier to make it into this secret room and skip half of the auto-scroller here. Almost every auto-scroller in this game you can skip in some way, or at least speed up. And that's especially true in terms of speeding up with this level, which is entirely an auto-scroller. If you stand on the edge of the screen toward which is being auto-scrolled, you will actually scroll the screen faster. It has to be right near the top here, or right at the very right side in the first part. Anything other than the very extremes, not enough to make it go faster. And at the end here, it's just waiting for the platforms to appear to jump onto the door. And that's World 2. Now on to World 3. This is where things get more challenging. Of course, we've just finished an auto-scroller, so we're going to go straight into another one here. This one's fairly simple, though. You just have to dodge these green cannons, which are really not fun. Ever.
No!
There are green cannons everywhere in this run, and they will do mean things like that. Just altogether not very nice. They shoot at regular intervals, although the interval will depend on what the cannon is and where it is. Like, these cannons, each one shoots at a different interval, which makes it difficult to dodge both simultaneously. Now we're on to 3-2. This is level that's a little bit slower paced than the other ones that we've seen, just because of the cycles that we are forced to wait for. But this ending goes pretty quickly. Now we're on to 3-3. This one, the main theme of the level is these platforms that spin around. First thing first, we have to get this portal exit. It's very difficult because the only easy way to get these coins is to be going in the opposite direction that the discs are spinning. So for example, that first disc spins counterclockwise, but you want to go around the platform clockwise, and vice versa for the second platform, just because of the way the height of the platforms work out relatively. Now we have to go back into 3-3 after 3A. Go through the whole entire level this time. And the second half introduces everybody's second or third favorite enemy, the Toxies. The Toxies are very happy to see you, so much that they want to come and meet you and hug you. And naturally, that's not very fun for you, because they'll kill you. This next level, 3-4, the secret exit, or portal exit, is really hard to find. And it's somewhat difficult to get if you're not used to the cycles. Just give me a second. So this is 3B. It's got a couple of keys in it that you have to use to unlock these doors. There's a red one, a yellow one, a blue one, and everyone's actual favorite enemy, the Chokies. Chokies are these greenish, beigeish colored, I don't know, I'm colorblind.
They're green.
That's kind of what I thought. Okay. So, they're very cool. They have sunglasses on to let you know that they're cool. They're an emote. Because that I just misspelled. But they're very cool. And now we have to go through 3-4 again the whole way, and we get to see a lot more Choki. Because what's better than one Choki? A whole ton of Chokies. They're very appropriately named, we feel, just because it's very easy to choke a level because of the strange cycles that they can give you. This was especially a problem before a recent patch in 3-B that we just saw, because sometimes it used to be they would spawn based on the camera position being on them, and at the beginning of the level when you first spawn in, they're all on camera, but if you were to die at the checkpoint, they would give you a different cycle depending on how quickly you moved them onto the camera. Now we have 3-5. This level's theme is these spikes that contract and retract. They'll just always come in and out at the exact same intervals, which I suppose is the only good thing about them, because at least it's not random. but they are very unforgiving with the time. If you are even a split second late, you're going to die. Oh. That was a very risky cycle right there that Em just went for. Now we have 3-6. We're going to be playing this level pretty much twice in its entirety, just because of the placement of the portal exit. First time, pretty standard, and then you get to right here, and the portal, and you have to get all 5 coins, and the whatever it is at the bottom is chasing you, and it's very difficult to make that cycle every time. And then we have 3C, which is probably one of the easiest and definitely one of the fastest levels in the entire run. Just time-wise, it's 15 seconds, maybe 16 max, just because entirely auto-scrolling like that. Now we have to go back into 3-6, do the whole thing again, because the portal exit is right at the end. And now it's on to 3-7. 3-7 will introduce another type of new platform, and these are the yellow formation point platforms. They disappear as soon as you jump off of them. So you can land on them and you can stay on them as long as you want. But as soon as you jump off, they'll disappear. This upcoming level, 3 Skull, is one of the hardest levels to optimize just because of the main mechanic of it. This level is pretty much entirely in the dark. After this first screen, there's a whole section where you can only see that small area in front of you. It's just very difficult to figure out what cycle you're on pretty often. After that, there is another room that is in the light, I suppose you could say, not in the dark. And this is where we have to get this red key to get through. Oh my, almost missed that. But now we're back in the dark. And this is technically an auto-scroller, there's something chasing you, but we go too fast to care about that. Now it's on to World 4. This is probably, just in total, the most difficult world in the game, just because of the sheer number of levels. There are 13 in this world, I believe, counting all secret exits and the boss, counting all secret levels in the boss level. it introduces a whole ton of things. Core 2, for example, has these pink platforms that will switch between on and off every time you jump. Single jump, double jump, anything will switch these two. That's going to be very important later in the level, because after this room there will be pink blocks that will crush you if you are on the wrong cycle. Basically they're hammering up and down, and if you have one hammer you while it's solid, it's going to crush you. And that's not going to be fun for any of the parties involved. In general, this whole mechanic means routing any levels with pink blocks in them, which is pretty much just this level. You have to route out where you're going to jump and know where you're going to jump. That last room, I hate that last room so much because I always forget to jump at the beginning of it. It's every single time, I swear. I think exactly one time in an actual run of this game, I have remembered that I had to do a single jump at the beginning of that and actually done it. That's the only time I've ever done so in it. I'm just bad at that. Remembering. I'm just bad at remembering that. Anyways, 4-3, key level. You have 3 keys. There's a red key that you need to unlock the red door at the beginning of the level. Unfortunately, that's not anywhere near the beginning of the level. It's on the opposite side, so you have to get all the way over here and then get it back. Now, right here at the end of the level, it's very important to know how many gold you have. Just because that number can change how you do things. Right here, M has 33 gold, so that's more than the 32 you'd need, which is plenty. The reason you need 32 gold, again, there is a lock in this, or token toll in this world that requires 32 gold to get past. Anyways, this level has this hidden room that is completely required to beat the game, so that's a big part of making sure to beat this game, is to get this consistent, because it's auto-scrolling and it's in a negative world or parallel world. And then it's time to go back through the entire world. Now that we've unlocked the boss, we have to actually get through all the rest of the levels, because again, this is all levels main ending. So we get to see the other half of this level that you don't see in any percent run. Four 7 is a lot of spikes. There's just no other way to put it. There's a lot of spikes in this level. And there's green cannons everywhere too. And spikes are already bad. Green cannons are already the worst thing in the world. So put them together, it makes for a very challenging trip back here to get all these green coins.
Get in there.
Actually the hardest trick in the game right there. Getting through that little one tile gap. It's actually impossible. This here is a speed strat that saves, I think, like 10 or 15 seconds over the intended way to do this. You just have to go through there. And then this here as well saves a good 5 to 10 seconds. Those green cannons are even worse than anything else in the game. Thankfully, they do not make a return. I think we're all grateful for that. Now we have 4.8. This introduces another new type of platform. These are the green-red timer platforms. They'll turn on and off on a timer. You can tell that one is about to turn off if it turns red. And that's one of the most challenging to time secrets in the game, or portal exits in the game. And it leads to the shortest level in the game, by far. That I think the world record is 5.1 seconds, which is absolutely insane. This level is also known to have some of the most crazy skips in the game. Like, for example, that skip to get through the last level, or the last room of the level, before the thing closes, or the skips earlier to get through some of the screens just a bit quicker. Definitely some of the hardest in the game. This portal exit is one of the more challenging ones. It's just a lot of difficult falling, such. Very hyped to get that first try. And this, again, is one of the quicker levels of the game. Just because of that skip right there, to get into that section with the gravity flipped in that direction, it speeds up the end of the level by at least 15 seconds. You know, I keep forgetting to mention important things, like the fact that this yellow field that lets you jump infinitely exists. But yeah, it does.
It's alright.
I'll be fine. It's not like I can be fired. Now we're on to the last couple levels of this world, Force 6 and Force B. These are the reasons that you need 32 gold. To access this level requires 32 gold, so you kind of have to have 32 gold in this category to beat all of the levels. That's kind of how it works. B is just based on these levity fields that you saw earlier. They're blue, they make the gravity go much slower, so the lower gravity will make some of these jumps possible, like this that is being attempted here to save, I think, 7 seconds in that second room. This last part of the level, it's very important to make sure you've gotten a high enough double jump the first time, otherwise it's impossible to get through some of the later things. And right at the end, right at the end there, you saw a red field as opposed to the blue fields. That will make the gravity increase as opposed to decrease. You see another one right here at the bottom of this screen. That just makes you fall a lot faster, makes your double jump a lot lower. And that right there was a perfect 0 speed fall to line up with that platform. And just fall straight down. Second half of this level, more on these red fields that increase gravity. Makes a lot of the platforming and then much more challenging when you can't jump as high or far. Now we are finally in for boss, the Tower of Power, the most difficult level in the first part of the game, and by far the longest. It's just really challenging. Oh, that was really close to getting a small skip. Just skips some of these middle portions of this level. Very precise, though. But 100% safe, so it's always worth going for. Right here, you go through this secret path that goes past that gold because it's faster than going through the top part of the level, or the normal section, rather, of the level. Now we're into the second section of this level. This is got some more. This whole level in general is just kind of a final exam, I suppose, for everything that's come before this level. You've got green cannons, spikes, yellow infinite jump fields. Everything that you've seen before is in this level. And that pixel. You can just stand on that, yeah. Now this is going into the final section of this level. It's the most challenging 2 rooms of the level. First we have this, which goes back to the 3-7 yellow exclamation point platforms. Very tight jump at the end. And then we have this final room, which has the, I believe, 3-8. There's no such thing as
4-8.
What am I saying? 4-8 green and red disappearing platforms. This was an incredibly good 4-dash boss. Anything sub 3 is incredible, so a sub 240 is insane. Now we have 443, only 443, we still need 7 more silver somewhere. So thankfully we have the entire World 5 to get that, and we can get it very easily in any of the levels, because these levels are really where they're what makes the silver in this category just not matter at all. How much you have before this. As long as you can get through World 4, you're fine. Because just all of the silver in these levels is directly in your path, and there's almost no way to skip it. Five 2 is Hot Drop and Scroll, named very accordingly because it's a hot level. These World 5 levels have this theme of lava. Drop because, as you can see, these platforms drop when you stand on them. And Scroll because the last section is a pretty long auto-scroller. That's this next room after this one. And then this right here, this platform will go down as long as you are standing on it. So naturally, what we want to do is to make sure that does not happen. So we make it, we stand off of the platform, we have the platform scroll up because that's what it's programmed to do, and then we just skip the entire auto-scroller. Biggest skip in the game, saves a minute or more, and incredibly fun to do, and incredibly fun to commentate as if there's actually going to be an auto-scroller. And now we're in 5A, Space Jam. It's all based on these green arrows, really, and just how flipping the gravity can change your momentum, as well as the single and double jump platforms from earlier in both 2.6 and 5.3. Now we have 5.6. Its entire gimmick is that one thing that we saw one time in what was it, 2-3, with the hidden gold at the very end of the level. Yeah, that is the entire mechanic of 5.6. But first we have 5B. It's all based on the discs shooting around and how they interact with flipping. Right here in this room there is a small skip where you get that red key and then just kind of go backwards before the discs can hit you. And now we have to go back through 5.6 the entire way this time. If you are having a slight sense of deja vu, that's because this entire level is based around the same level structure as level 1-2 right at the beginning of the run. Or 1-3 rather, sorry. Now we're going back into 5-3, which again is based on these single and double jump platforms from 2-6.
Oh, come on.
It's one of the more difficult levels because just the alignments that you need, precise jumps that you need without double jumping, just make it a little bit precise, for lack of a better word. Especially this end right here, you need to go quick enough to not get hit by the ball over or the disc at the back of you, but you also can't double jump, which makes it very precise. You have to land on each one individually. Now we have 5-4. This one is just 6 sections in a row, and you just go through them, just back and forth across the level. It's just kind of a gauntlet of everything. After this, we have 5-5, Hot Rocks. It's the tightest platforming level in the entire game. There's just almost no space to go anywhere, especially nowhere you're not intended to go. Everything around that glows will kill you, and there's only a few safe spots to land. This is the last big reason that silver is not a factor in this category, because you can get almost every single silver level without even trying. In fact, some of them are incredibly difficult to skip. Now we have 5 boss, last kind of level. This is all based around being in that parallel world. In this level, that parallel world has a ton of extra platforms that will essentially let you get through the level. There's only these kind of brick platforms in the middle of the each section are safe to stand on when you're not in the parallel world. Otherwise, it's all just disappeared. The last section of the level does not actually have a middle place to stand, so you have to get through the entire thing on this one portal. Thankfully, it's a much longer portal than any of the others in the level, and this might be enough. Yes, I think that's the skip. There's normally a portal in that room that appears, but you don't need it there. And now, because you can't actually beat that level, there's 5X, the final showdown. probably my favorite level of the game in terms of an IL. It's got a lot of crazy skips, like this right here, which is not intended to be the way you go through that. You're supposed to flip gravity 3 times before you do that. So being able to do it without flipping gravity and then just getting that checkpoint right there actually saves upwards of 20 seconds. Now the goal here is to get back to the checkpoint, to do a quick reset, so that the enemy has its position reset so you can get to the top of the level. This is going to be the final key. Time will be coming up as soon as M hits the exit on this level. And that's time. The in-game time there is at the bottom left corner, which is a 51:12, so barely a minute behind the world record, that run. That's actually insane. I think that's the fastest time ever in a marathon. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that the fastest time ever in a marathon? That's
Well,
insane.
this is also faster than my old PB. Like, before I got the 50:07.
Yeah.
My old PB, I think, was a 51:32 before that. So, yeah.
Yeah, just an absolutely insane run. As is tradition at this point, I will be taking this opportunity to guess the number of deaths and restarts in M's
Wait,
run.
it's up.
Oh, it is? Oh. Shoot, I forgot that we don't have the credits anymore. Well, just an incredible run. 38 deaths and 20 restarts is actually higher than I was expecting for that time. But still insane nonetheless. Just really quickly, I'm going to plug our Discord if I can find the chat. Where's the chat room? Can't find the chat room.
The hold on, I'll pull up the link.
Okay. Yeah, we have a Discord for Super Lumi Live. Quite a few speedrunners in there. We'll have anything that you need. If you have any questions about it, we can just you can just have it there. Someone should thank you for that link. Is there someone who can put M's Twitch channel in the chat quickly? This is the Super Lumi Live Discord. We've also got M, the amazing runner of this game. That's the link. You can follow her. That's probably what I would recommend you doing. Always fun hanging there. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching this bumbled mess of commentary over this amazing run. Until next time, I guess. I am Orixarai, and that's M was the runner.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having both of us, and we'll see you next time.